Hi. Today's target is based on kindness. So today's target is to leave your heart print on someone today. So if you think of a heart print as like a handprint or a fingerprint or footprint. So if you think back to the wintertime when we were wearing our winter boots and walking in the snow, and we were looking at what our footprints looked like in the snow. And everyone's footprint looked a little bit different. We had different treads, or our boots were different sizes. And you could tell who had walked there because you could look at the footprints and be like, hey, that's the path I took when I was walking to the swings. And if you think of a handprint, so if I push my hand into the sand at the beach, or if we paint our hands and then push them down on paper, we leave our handprint. And it's really fun when we have our stamp pads out if we stick our fingers into our stamp pad or into the paint, and then we can leave our fingerprints on a paper. And those are all prints that you can see. You look at them and you can see the print that you are leaving behind. That's something that you can see. Well, a heart print is similar to that, except for you don't usually get to see the print that your heart is leaving behind, but other people can feel it. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's that feeling of when someone has left their heart print on you, then your heart feels good too. So one way that we can do that is to be kind to each other and be kind to others. So I have a storybook I'm going to read to you today, and then we have some ideas. And this is something that we can extend into other lessons as well. So not just today, but what can we do to leave our heart print on our family members or on our neighbors, even if we don't know them or don't talk to them? Is there still some way that we can leave kindness on them or kindness in our community? So the story I'm going to read to you today should give us some ideas, and it's called You Hold Me Up, and it's by Monique Gray Smith, and the pictures are by Daniel. It's spelled differently. I'll show you, but that says Danielle. Maybe it's Danielle. Anyway, really similar name. That's pretty cool. So what are some things that we think we might see inside the story? What are some ways that people can be kind to each other, or people can show their love for each other? Can you think of some ways that people might do that? Yeah, maybe giving someone a hug might be something that we see in here. People doing things for each other. Yeah, maybe showing that they care about each other, or showing someone that they're their friend. Those are all really good ideas. And some of your ideas are really specific ideas, but let's find out what these people thought was a way that you hold me up. You hold me up can mean you pick me up and hold me up, or you hold me up like you hold up my feelings, you hold up my heart, you make my heart feel good. That can be you hold me up too. This looks like something that we might be doing at home lately. You hold me up when you are kind to me. Can you see some people who are being kind in that picture to each other? Right. This person is being kind to the children and saying, do you want to come help me in the kitchen? And then what about these two children? Are they being kind to each other and cooking nicely together and cooking with this other adult? Maybe who do you think that person is? Yeah, maybe it's mom or grandma, an auntie. When you share with me, who do you think those people are? Yeah. Maybe they're brothers, a brother and sister. And they're sharing, not fighting about something. When you learn with me, not that we're all doing together. You hold me up when you play with me. When you laugh with me. These are all ways to share kindness with each other. When you sing with me. And they're outside and they have their drums. You hold me up when you comfort me. Okay? Making each other feel better. Giving each other a snuggle. Who do you think needed to be comforted in that picture? Do you think that the little girl needed to have some comfort and so Mom gave her a hug? Or do you think maybe that Mom needed some comfort and so the little girl or the little kid came over and gave Mom a hug? Because maybe the little kid could tell that Mom needed a hug today. Okay. When you listen to me, they're telling each other things, talking to each other, and the other person is just listening to them, hearing their story, listening to their feelings. When you respect me, that's a big idea, to respect each other, but when you respect each other, you are kind to each other, you look after each other, you're careful of each other's feelings, and you're careful of each other's bodies. No one's getting hurt. When you respect each other, you let other people have their ideas, even if they're totally different than yours. Respect is a big one. I think we all work on that, kids and adults. You hold me up. And notice they don't even have to talk during this time. They're just hugging each other. Their hearts are filling up and they're feeling better. I hold you up. I know some of you just said, magic page. You're right. Magic page. So did you notice the difference between those two pages? You hold me up. I hold you up. Because when you give someone else love and they feel love, and then they send that love back to you. So when one of you helps one person, that other person it's helping you to help someone else too. It makes you feel better on the inside, and you make them feel better on the inside too. We hold each other up. They're having a picnic, maybe just a picnic in their yard. And that's the end. What a nice story. So, one thing I've noticed when I have gone out to walk the dog lately, or if I've gone for a bit of a car ride, I've looked when I'm driving past other people's houses, I'm noticing that there's hearts in the windows. And I think the hearts in the windows right now probably have like two meanings. So one of the meanings is to say thank you to doctors and nurses who are working so hard. But I think also the hearts in the windows, they make me feel good. And I'm not a nurse or a doctor, but when I drive past a house and I see the hearts in the window, I'm like, oh, that is so nice. That's so kind. And I feel love to those people that must live in that house. Maybe there's children that live in that house, or and I also feel like there's love being sent to me too as I drive by and I just notice, or I walk by and I just notice those hearts. I feel like, hey, there's more hearts in that window too. And when I drive around the community or I walk around, I'm seeing more and more and more hearts up everywhere. Now, even though I've been noticing that for about 2 weeks, I haven't put any hearts in my window yet. So I realized I need to do that today, right now. And then I thought maybe you've noticed them too, or maybe you haven't, and maybe you don't have any hearts in your window. Now, maybe you do, and if you do, good for you. And it wouldn't hurt to put up more or some new ones. So last night I said to Olivia, could you cut me some hearts out of colorful paper? And so she made a whole bunch of different hearts. So we're going to get some tape and we're going to put those in the window today. Now, maybe you don't have colorful paper at your house. If you don't, that's okay. You could use white paper and you could draw a heart, and I'll teach you how to draw a heart on one piece of paper right now. We drew them in February for Valentine's Day, but we haven't drawn any since. Now, some of you probably just like to do hearts and you do them at home anyways. Maybe some of you haven't practiced doing a heart since Valentine's Day, so we'll do one today together. If you don't, and if you have just white paper, you could color it and decorate it and draw on it or put a happy face on it once you're done and put that in the window. That'd be cool too. Maybe you don't have any paper at your house. Maybe you have chalk. Maybe you could draw something with chalk. Maybe you could paint on your window. I saw Cole and Paisley were painting on their windows and they sent me a picture of that. And that looked pretty cool. So their mom gave them special paint to paint on their windows. You could paint a heart. So anyways, there's lots of different things that you can do. Temperance's mom and dad, I know they painted together with Cedric. Maybe they painted a whiteboard. They made their own whiteboard they had whiteboard paint and they just painted it on, I don't know, a piece of wood maybe or something, and it turned it into a whiteboard. Now she can use whiteboard pens, and so maybe you can draw a heart on that and just put that in the window. You're not wasting any paper. So whatever you want to do. So if you want to reminder of how to make a heart, I'll show you an easy way. So you take a piece of paper and you just fold it in half. So I just put two corners together and then I go like that. It doesn't matter if you fold your paper and it doesn't look straight because you're going to cut it out anyway, so it doesn't matter. So now the only important part to drawing a heart is that there's a side of the page that's folded and then there's these loose sides up here. If I draw my heart over here, my heart will fall apart. I need to draw it on the part that has that crease at the bottom. So I'm going to tip it up so that my card opens like that. And there's my crease. So this is where I folded my page. And then I'm going to choose a pen. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a dot somewhere near the top, not too close, but somewhere. And somewhere near the bottom, wherever you want. Now I've got two dots right on the edge of my paper. And the first thing I'm going to think of doing is I'm going to draw a rainbow. So I'm going to just draw a rainbow like this. Right? So I drew my rainbow. And now from here, all I have to do is connect it down to that dot. So I'm going to take my rainbow and I'm going to come like that and just connect it down. So here I go. There. Now I need my scissors. So I take that, I'm going to cut on the outside of it. There you go. Now when we open it up, presto, you just made yourself a heart. So there you go. So we'll put that up in the window today. I've seen that some people have written little messages on here. Maybe they've written the word love, or maybe they've drawn a picture, a little person here, and maybe they're holding hands with someone else to kind of show like kindness or friendship. So those are all things you can do, or maybe it's just decorated, and when you put it on the window, you know that you're sending out love into the world. So that's one thing that we can do today. What I'd like you to also think of is, how are you going to be kind? Because if we don't make a plan, it might not happen. So what can you actually do, you, at your house today? What can you do that will be kind to someone else in your family? Can you think of some things that you might do that will leave your heart print on that person? So when I did something, I cut out a heart and I'm taping it in the window, that is going to leave my heart print on my neighbors because they're going to see it. So that's one thing I've done today. I'm leaving my heart print by putting these hearts on my window, so when people drive by, they're like, oh, that's nice. What's something you can do today where you could leave your heart print on your family? Can you think of some things? Yeah, so are you thinking of hugging? Put up your hand if you thought giving someone a hug today might be, yeah. Okay, that might be a heart print that you could leave behind. What about if you have a little brother or sister? Not everybody does, but if you have a little brother or sister and they want to play with one of your toys, what could you try to do? Yeah, you could. You could try to share with them, even if it's hard, right? You could try to use nice words and kind voice if you're playing with them. Not everybody has a brother or sister at home. What could you do for your mom today to leave your heart print on her? You could hug her. What else could you do? Yeah, you could tell her that you love her. Yeah, you could see if you could help. So could you go to your mom and say, maybe at lunchtime, you can say, can I help you put lunch on the table? Can I help you set the table at dinner time? Maybe you could go make your own bed. Do you have toys lying around in your bedroom? What if you picked up your toys without anyone asking you? Would that be kind? And that would make mom feel really happy. How about if you notice mom doing something today and she's doing some work? You ask her if you can help. Ask her if you can help her out. Now, maybe your dad is home too. Maybe he's not. But if he is home, is there some way that you could help him too? You could help all the people in your family. Some families are small and it's just 2 people. Some families are a little bit bigger and it's 3. Some are a little bit bigger and it's 4 or 5. Sometimes there's a grandparent that lives downstairs or lives with you. That becomes even a bigger family. So however many people you have in your family, why don't you try to go and leave your heart print on all of them? Giving someone a hug is really easy. But if you see someone doing something, you could ask if you could help them. That would be really great. You could draw someone a picture. So I'll tell you something that I did yesterday, totally by fluke. I wasn't trying to be kind to anybody, but then something really strange happened. We could hear a strange noise inside our fireplace. We have a wood stove. And Olivia said, Mom, I think there's a mouse or a bird in the wood stove. What? How would that happen? The chimney goes way up to the roof and then like way, way up. And it's not even an open chimney. It has a closed metal lid and everything. But we got a flashlight and we shined it through the glass door and we could see it was a bird. There was a little bird inside our fireplace. Now the fireplace hasn't been turned on for a long time because it's gotten warm. But the little bird was in there and I thought, oh boy, we have to somehow get this bird out of the fireplace and through the house and then out the door and then hopefully it will fly away if it's not hurt. So I was a little bit worried, but Ethan held we had a big, huge fishing net. So Ethan brought the fishing net over, and we put it in front of the fireplace door. And then I slowly opened the door to the fireplace, and the bird probably had been in there for a whole day, so it was getting a little bit tired. Didn't have any food or water in there. It was starting to slow down a little bit, so it wasn't flapping around too badly. And it was a pretty small bird. It only, could fit in my hand. So I put on some gloves, put on my other glove, and I reached one hand really slowly into the fireplace. And I put it the bird was in the corner, so I was able to put my hand on top of the bird. I didn't try to get away, and I thought, okay. So then I put my other hand in, and I cupped it underneath the bird, and then I just held my hand still, and I just held the bird, not tight, just firm enough so that it felt safe, and it knew it was inside my hand. And this little head was poking out, but I had his back and his tail. And I slipped my hand out, and the bird didn't struggle. I think it knew I was trying to help it. And I tried to stay slow and moving slowly and quietly so the bird would know I was kind, and I wanted to leave my heartprint on the bird. And I slowly brought my hand out, and it was okay. And then we went outside, and we went into the yard, and Olivia opened the gate for me, and we were able to go up by a tree, and then slowly open my hand, and the bird started to fly away, so it could still fly. It had a lot of soot on him from the fireplace, and black soot was flying behind him as he flew away, but he went off into a tree, or she, I don't know, and sat in the tree and kind of shook its feathers off, and then finally flew away from there. And then I thought it was a good idea to fill up the bird feeder and put out some water just in case it needed to come back for a drink or some food. So that was being kind to that bird, but it also showed Ethan and Olivia kindness as well, right? To be gentle with an animal is showing kindness and leaving your heartprint. It left the heartprint on the bird. It left the heartprint on Ethan and Olivia to see me be kind and gentle with that bird. And the bird left its heartprint on me because I felt so good about being able to save it and get it out of that fireplace and have it go back into nature. So there's lots of different ways that we can leave our heartprint on other people or animals, and how those animals or people can leave their heartprint on us. So I challenge you today to go find a way to leave your heartprint on everyone that's in your family. Try to be a little bit kinder, a little bit sweeter than usual today, even if they're having a bad day. That means it's an extra challenge to try to find out how to be gentle and kind to them. And maybe you can put some hearts in your window to leave your heartprint on your neighbors that live near you who will notice that you have hearts up. And if you think of some other fun ways, you can take pictures and send them to me. You can draw pictures of what you're doing today, or you can write a sentence about it. Things that you have done to be kind. Have a great day and have fun.